I'm sat here surrounded by all this stuff, and I'm glad I bought all of it, don't get me wrong, right? But most of this, almost like over 3/4 of this, is gifts for like younger people in my family. I'm buying them things to, I'm like illustrating the past for them, you know, because they'll grow up into a world, and it won't be this world, but it will have come out of this world, so I want them to understand how they got to where they are. So I get all this stuff, and, you know, I thought I was going to get the chance to give it to them and explain through along with them. But I mean, half of this stuff, they're not allowed. The family they're in, they don't have free speech or... You know, I'm not talking about things like you don't give your kids X-rated movies. No, I mean things like, you know, this, right? This is a BB gun, which I bought when there was a terrorist attack, right? And the reason I bought it is to explain to young people, if you ever see someone pull out something which looks like this, you want to get away. It wasn't anything, there was nothing nefarious to it. It doesn't actually, it's just a kind of replica. It doesn't do anything. You know, I could shoot myself with it and it's a little foam ball that comes out, a little pellet. But they used this as a propaganda tool against me with those children. Painted me as some kind of bad gangster guy who has a collection of weapons in his house for hurting people with. No, not at all. So it's things like that that is going to affect those children going forward. That is going to, they're going to build their idea of the world up based on these lies, these false things, and then they're going to get a big surprise when the world isn't that way to them. They're going to be angry. So that's the message of this video. This is to all the parents who think that taking things away from your children and hiding the fact that they exist is a way to teach a child. It's not. It's not. Imagine if we did that with like racism. If we just pretended that there'd never been any racism ever, and as soon as anyone did anything racist, we just disappear them off the street and you're not allowed to speak to them anymore. That's the approach that we seem to be taking. But the thing that they're doing that approach with isn't racism, it's Christianity. It's literally, that's why they sidled away from me slowly and quietly without me realising, and they didn't give me the opportunity to discuss it with the children there, because they know in a fair discussion where you can't use these dirty tricks, they'll lose. They'll absolutely lose. They know for a fact they cannot argue with Christian morality. It's not even arguing with me. I'm not a particularly eloquent arguer of things, you know, I'm pretty crap. But based on the subject matter, based on the material of Christian morality and how it works and how this whole country is made out of that, I can win any debate with them, with the children there or not. And that's the reason why they avoid that. Because it stands to reason. I've got it in that book over there, The Art of War. The way to win a fight with a stronger opponent is you attack them where they're weak and you don't go anywhere near where they're strong. So if I'm strong, morally, if I've got the facts and the evidence to back me up, reasonably and logically to say that I'm in the right, they don't go near that. But where am I weak? Well, I'm a religious guy, so I can't do things like, I can't behave the way that they have behaved, for instance. So it puts me at a disadvantage, and that's where they are attacking me. It's kind of like with Israel and Palestine. That's what Hamas are doing. Hamas won't meet Israel in a proper fight because they'll lose. They know that. So what they do is they attack Israel where they're weak. Israel like to think that they're humanitarian, so they don't like to attack Palestinian slaves and civilians, or, you know, civilians is what they call them, but they're slaves. They're not even from that area. You know, they come from a concentration camp in China, a Uyghur concentration camp. Uyghurs are Muslims. That's where all these wives are coming from, and that's why they're slaves. They're not even from that country. They're not treated like they've got any right to be there, whereas the Hamas guys are. But I go back to my last video. How is there so much support for these Hamas guys when they're complete terrorist murderers? It's because of the information war. They're attacking us where we're weak, i.e. the information, and they're avoiding us where we're strong, i.e. having a negotiation out in the open with Christian morality to back those negotiations up, and then having the teeth of tanks and military action behind it. They've completely defeated all of that because they attack us where we are weak, and that is on the computer. And in here. So that's the conclusion of this video. We need to toughen up, and we need to do it for the next generation of kids, because it's their minds that are the battlefield. It's not Israel or Palestine that's the battlefield. It is in here. Our minds and the minds of our children are specifically being targeted. So that's what we got to do, ladies, gents and Pikachus. Who thinks of the children? Think of the children. It needs to be us. We need to think of the children, and we need to realise that parents are the children as well. If they're going to behave like that, if they're going to voluntarily make their children do that and bring them up as if it's normal, and actually hide the last 250 years of this country's culture from them and pretend it doesn't exist, then they are children too. And we need to show these children with maturity, this is how the adults act. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Stands to reason as well. If kids can't look at their parents, who are they looking up to? Who are they going to become? Who are they going to style themselves into? With any luck, it won't be Stalin, Hitler, or Chairman Mao, but you just never know. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.